Everton star Bernard opens up on how he overcame obstacles to make it against the odds. The word runs down his neck, just beneath his right ear. Bernard, Everton's dandy winger, has other tattoos, but this simple inscription carries the most meaning. It reads persist, and he wants to explain the significance. "In my life that's what I've had to do," he says. "The amount of people who told me I would not get anywhere and I wouldn't make it. So persist is the word of my life. I'm here because of persistence." There is more to this story, though, than sheer bloody-mindedness. All footballers must overcome obstacles, but the hurdles Bernard has cleared to end up at Goodison Park are different. He faced prejudice due to his size in his native Brazil, while there was the trauma of civil war in Ukraine. His biggest fight, however, was with nature. Bernard is only 5 feet 3 inches, and to stand next to him, you wonder how he can withstand some of the big hits and intensity that is synonymous with the Premier League. There is a telling wince as he recalls his first appearance at Bournemouth in August. "Look at me," he says with a self-deprecating smile. "I'm not going to win a physical battle, am I?" But it turns out Bernard has won a battle, and that, in part, was due to the unstinting efforts of his devoted father, Delio. He knew his son's stature would present a challenge in life, but he also believed Bernard had the gifts to take him from Belo Horizonte to the biggest stages. "I received treatment for my size when I was younger and it was very expensive," says Bernard. "My father couldn't afford it, but, somehow, he found the resources to help me and pay for the treatment. It wasn't hormone injections. It was more to do with my diet and nutrition. I need medicine and supplements, and I would have a special syrup before I went to bed. With this medical support, it got me to the place that I needed." Dad always watches football. He loves it. "He was my driving force. In the moments I had doubts, he would fill me with belief. He kept saying, 'With your qualities, you will make it.' I thought about giving up at times, but he wouldn't let me. You remember your family, they drive your dreams. I have to stress what he did for me. 35 years he worked without ever taking a holiday. When I moved to Donetsk, he came over with me. It was time for me to do something for him. He could forget about work and enjoy his life. He deserved the rest." Delio, clearly, was a shrewd judge. Atletico Mineiro turned him away twice, but, finally, gave him a chance as a teenager. Soon word began to spread, and scouts from all over Europe watched as he helped Atletico win South America's biggest prize, the Copa Libertadores, in 2013. At that point, he says there were offers from Arsenal and tomorrow opponents Tottenham. Borussia Dortmund were admirers, as were Porto, but he opted to join Shakhtar Donetsk, where an enclave of 10 more Brazilians, including the now Manchester United midfielder Fred, made it home from home. "The first year one moved there, it was fine," he explains. "I had all the support I required. We had a real little community. It was important for us. When you move that far, the distance, the cold weather, the culture where people aren't so communicative, it really helped to adapt. But then came the troubles. Shakhtar became the club without a home and needed to play their games in Lviv, 780 miles away. The incendiary situation was, in his words, frightening. We lost our stadium, our training center, everything," says Bernard. "You had to travel then for home and away matches. When you think of the structure, how difficult was that for the fans? We experienced some real difficult moments. But when you sign up for a club, you commit to them. You have a duty to make the best of it. It's a delicate situation still, but you crack on." The way he explains things, there is never any negativity. The 26-year-old will be away from home at Christmas for the first time. Ukraine always had a winter break, but we meet on the day Everton's squad have visited Alderhay Children's Hospital, and he can apply perspective. "These visits give you a chance to appreciate and take stock," he says. "You think about it from a human point. I don't have children, but, of course, I empathize. You see what the parents are doing, really trying to give strength to the kids. You see some very sad situations, and I pray for these children. We complain about little things on a day-to-day basis, but this visit makes you aware of the reality of the world. But Bernard, who joined Everton in August on a free transfer, does not give you the impression he would complain about anything. There is no sense of entitlement and no bitterness, not even when the subject of a famous game arises. Bernard played the full 90 minutes when Brazil lost 7-1 to Germany in the 2014 World Cup semi-final. He had won his place in the team after Neymar was injured in the last 8 but has not kicked a ball for his country in the 4 years that have followed. Wow! What can I say, he mutters with a shake of the head. There is no explanation for it. It is the beauty of football that a result of that nature can happen, but, for us, it remains totally illogical. It might happen again, but it won't be for another 100 or 200 years. I think about it now and I still don't know what happened or how it happened. To be called back into the Selecao, I need to play well for Everton. The team needs to be playing well. There has to be a collection of factors that coincide for me to wear the shirt again. God willing, that will happen. First, the priority is to help Everton. He is 15 games into his Everton career and is convinced the decision to pick them was the right one. Results may have been patchy in recent weeks, but his conviction is that things will change. I listened to the various projects and considered them all, says Bernard. But, without doubt, the future of Everton, the structure of the club and the great things Marco Silva spoke about were key influences. Now it is up to me to play well.